tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Tomorrow afternoon, send me a text.
All right, that's fine.
Inshallah, I'll bring it.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Did you get a couple of his book markers?
طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تمسك بسنته بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending the salutations upon the Messenger alayhi salatu wassalam, and upon his family, his companions, and upon all those who follow upon his guidance, and to the establishment of the last day, to proceed, ya ikhwan. ويقول شيخ الإسلام محمد بن عبد الوهاب التميمي رحمه الله تعالى في كتابه الأصول الثلاثة. الأصول الثلاثة. So the great Imam Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab al-Tamimi, he continues, may Allah have mercy upon him, in his book The Three Principles. The Three Principles. قال Ibn Kathir رحمه الله. He says, Ibn Kathir mentions, may Allah have mercy upon him, قال الخالق لهذه الأشياء هو المستحق للعبادة. He says, that Ibn Kathir said, that the creator of these affairs, of these things, he is the one that deserves, him and only him, deserves to be worshipped. وأنواع العبادة التي أمرها الله تعالى بها. And he says, and the various types of worship, those forms of worship that Allah Ta'ala has commanded the person to carry out. قال الشيخ عبد العزيز بن باز رحمه الله. So the great Imam Shaykh Abdul Aziz ibn Bas, he mentions, قال الحافظ ابن حجر في تفسير قال الحافظ ابن كثير في تفسيره. He said, where Ibn Kathir mentions in his tafsir, الخالق لهذه الأشياء من سماء وأرض وثمار وأشجار ومطر وغير ذلك هو المستحق للعبادة. He says that Ibn Kathir mentions that the creator of these things, these affairs, from the heavens and from the earth and from fruits and vegetations and from trees and rain and the likes, and other than that, he is the one, him and only him, who deserves to be worshipped. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, the glorious and the exalted. وَأَنْ يُطَاعَ لِأَنَّهُ رَبُّ الْجَمِيعِ. And he is the one that is obeyed absolutely, because he is the Lord of everything. وَخَالِقُ الْجَمِيعِ. And he is the creator of everything. كَمَا قَالَ تَعَالَى. Just as Allah Ta'ala says, as it comes in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ الرَّحْمَنُ الرَّحِيمُ. As Allah Ta'ala says, and your Lord, your deity, your God is one. Is one God, one deity. And none has the right to be worshipped except him. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. And he is the most merciful, and he is the most compassionate. Surah Al-Baqarah.
What ayah?
في هذه Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 163. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 163. نستفيد من هذه الآية إخوان عدة أمور. There are many benefits of this verse. الفائدة الأولى, benefit number one. هذه الآية دليل على أن الله سبحانه وتعالى واحد وليس بالثاني وثلاثة ورابعة لا بل هو الواحد. This verse, benefit number one from this verse is a proof that Allah is one. That Allah is one. He's not two. He's not three. There's not four deities, five true deities. لا. الإله الحق هو الواحد. The true deity, الذي يستحق العبادة, the one who deserves to be worshipped, him and only him, he is one. فهذه الآية دليل على لا معبود إلا الله. This verse is a proof that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 163. Verse 163. وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. And your deity, your God, is one. الفائدة الثانية, benefit number 2, أن الله سبحانه وتعالى يثبت له بعض صفات. Benefit number 2 is that Allah Ta'ala describes Himself, affirms for Himself some qualities. Benefit number 2, that Allah Ta'ala, He affirms for Himself, He describes Himself with having some qualities, some descriptions. Benefit number 2 was that Allah Ta'ala describes for Himself, affirms for Himself some qualities. وَالثَّالِثَةُ, benefit number 3, أن من أسماء الله تعالى الرحمن والرحيم. Benefit number 3, ikhwan, from the names of Allah is Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, the most merciful and the most compassionate. قال بعض المفسرين أن الرحمن صفة ذاتية وأن الرحيم صفة فعلية. Some of the scholars of tafsir, they mention that the name of Allah, Ar-Rahman, that it describes the essence, the that of Allah, not His actions, His that, His essence. فالله تعالى هو ذو الرحمة, meaning that Allah is the possessor of vast mercy. He's the possessor of vast mercy. والرحيم صفة فعلية, and the name Ar-Rahim is a description of Allah's what? His actions. A description of Allah's actions. فهو ذو الرحمة, so He is the possessor of mercy, vast mercy. He is Ar-Rahim, Ar-Rahman. والرحيم أن رحمته موصولة إلى من يشاء من الخلق. In Allah's Rahim, that He is described that His mercy reaches whoever He wishes from creation. Insahum wa jinnahum, mankind from Allah's creation, and the jinn from Allah's creation. Mu'minihim wa kafirihim, the believers from Allah's creation and the disbelievers from Allah's creation. Al-hayawanat, the animals. Wal-mada wal-ashjar, and the trees. Wal-ushb, and the grass and the likes. Min makhluqatillah, from the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qala Shaykh Ibn Baz. Shaykh Ibn Baz continues. قال العبادة أنواع. He says worship is of various categories. Worship is of various categories. فمنها الإسلام. From the categories of worship is something called Islam. From the categories of worship is something called Al-Islam. بأركانه, and the pillars of Islam. فكل ما أمر الله به من الأعمال الإسلام عبادة. من أعمال الإسلام عبادة. So everything that you find from Islam that Allah commands is worship. Everything that Allah commands the person to do from the religion of Al-Islam, this thing is worship. Min salatin, from prayer, wa sawmin, and fasting, wa ghayri dhalik, and other than that. Kam aqsami as-salah ya ikhwan? How many categories of prayer are there? How many categories? Not the names. How many different types of salah are there? If you were to break down a salah, how many categories would you stop at? 9 categories? Tawafiq you agree, Abdullah? How many different types? Not different names, ya ikhwan. Laysa al-asma, not the names. Kam qisma as-salah. How many different types of prayer are there? Not the names. Laysa al-fajr wa dhuhra wa al-asr la. Al-Aqsam. Not the different names. The morning prayer,
No,
the mid-afternoon prayer,
not that.
or not that.
Okay.
Different
About,
types.
about 7, 8.
7, 8, 9. Too many.
Too many.
فأقسام الصلاة 2.
40.
The categories of prayer are 2.
Two categories of
Oh,
salah.
40 sunnah.
I'm thinking something else.
Not the names. ليس الأسماء.
Oh,
No,
Not the names.
Not
The
names.
types.
Types.
If you were to divide نقسم الصلاة إلى أقسام متى نتوقف. If we would try to come and divide how many types of prayer, when would you stop? You're only going to come to 2. You're either going to come إلى الصلاة الواجبة أو الصلاة التطوع أو المستحبة. No matter, don't worry about the names. If you try to divide the categories of prayer, ikhwan, into categories, you're going to stop at 2 types. The first type is called the obligatory prayer. As-salatu al-wajibatu. Our beloved brother Mustafa says, al-fardu wa-nawafil. Wa-hada sahih. And that's correct. That which is obligatory and that which is recommended. First type, you can call it al-fard. You can call it al-wajiba. You can call it al-lazima. Any of those descriptions, they have the same meaning. Al-muhim, the point is, that is the obligatory prayer. You can call it the lazima, you can call it the maktuba, you can call it the wajiba, you can call it the mafruḍa. All of them have the same name. The obligatory prayer. والقسم الثاني يا إخوان التطوع أو المستحب أو النافلة ولها كذلك أسماء كثيرة. And this second type also has many names. You can call it the voluntary prayer, you can call it the mustahabba, you can call it the sunan, you can call it, they have many names, ikhwan. All these synonyms have the same meaning. Obligatory prayer and the recommended prayer. أي صلاة ما. Any salah that you mention is either going to be obligatory or recommended.
So,
No.
so sunnah recommended could fall into like the Tawbah prayer.
Could be.
Okay.
And no matter, don't worry about the names. Any salah you mention. طيب. صلاة العيد. صلاة المكتوبة. Any salah. The obligatory, the 5 salawat. Rak'atay al-fajr. 2 rak'ah before you pray al-fajr. Any salah you mention, not the names of them, is either going to be obligatory or recommended. And then the obligatory can be of 2 types, but it's still obligatory. So no matter how much you chop it down, it's going to be 2 types. Kam qisma al-sawm. How many types of fasting are there? One type of fast. Obligatory.
Oh, and then 2.
2.
Now.
Obligatory. الصوم الواجب, the obligatory fast, والصوم المستحب, and the recommended fast. والصوم المستحب لها أو له أقسام, والصوم الواجب له أقسام. There are 2 general types of fasting: obligatory, recommended. The recommended fast is of categories too, but they still called recommended. And the obligatory fast is of categories, and it's still called obligatory. So basically 2 types. Basically 2 types. هل هذا من دليل من الكتاب والسنة? Is this there being 2 types of prayers, 2 types of fasts? Is there proof from the Quran and the Sunnah that says that? Is there a verse where Allah Ta'ala says the categories of prayer are 2? Is there a hadith in which the Prophet of Allah said the categories of fasting are 2? هل هذا من الكتاب والسنة؟ بعض العلماء يقولون أنتم من أهل السنة أنتم من أهل البدع. Some people say, you brothers on the sunnah, you're upon innovation. You say, oh hey, how? They say أنتم تقسمون التوحيد إلى 3 أقسام. هل هذا من كتاب الله ومن سنة النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام? They say, you brothers who try to be upon the sunnah, may Allah make all of us upon the sunnah of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. فهذا دعاء عظيم. That's a tremendous dua. فعلى العبد أن يسر ربه سبحانه وتعالى أن يجعله سنية. It's upon the Muslim that he begs and he asks, he implores his Lord that he allows him to be upon the Sunnah. فلا يظن العبد أبدا أنه لا يحتاج إلى دعاء الله أبدا. And the servant of Allah does never believe that he is no longer in need of the mercy of his Lord, the dua of his Lord. فبعض الناس يظنون أنهم من أهل الجنة وهذا خطأ. Many people of today, they think they are the people of the Jannah, them and only them. وهذا خطأ. And that's a grave error. لا يظن هكذا إلا المنافق. No one thinks like that in reality, except a few types of people. One of them is a hypocrite. أو ضال مضل, or someone who is extremely astray, and he's leading others astray. وهو لا يظن أنه ضال وأنه يضل. And the harm of that is he's so far astray, he doesn't even know it. And the harm to that, he's leading others astray, but he doesn't even realize it. وكذلك الشيطان نفسه. Also, a shaitan himself. Yeah. For example. نعم. فلا يظن العبد أبدا أنه في الأمن وهو لا يزال يحيا أبدا. And the servant of Allah should never feel that he's safe while he's still alive. علينا أن نخاف من البدع. It's upon us to be afraid of falling into innovation. وعلينا أن نخاف من الكفر. And it's upon us to be fearful for ourselves disbelief. والمعاصي, and sin and transgression. وكذلك الضلال, and also misguidance. فعلينا دائما وأبدا دعاء ربنا سبحانه وتعالى بالعافية والثبات. But it's upon the Muslim always, ya ikhwan, always to invoke his Lord, asking his Lord for afiyah, for good well-being, and thabat. And he makes him firm, grounded upon the sunnah of the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam.
Can you finish with
So the person says, you brothers are upon innovation. You say, how? You brothers divide Tawheed into 3 categories. Tawheed is of 3 categories, that's correct. But they say, where did you get that? There's not a verse that says that. That's true. There's not a hadith that says that. That's true. Like the categories of prayer. There's no verse that Allah says the categories of prayer are 2. There's no verse where Allah says, أقسام الصيام اثنان, that the categories of fasting are 2. فأين أتى العلماء من هذا? So where did the scholars get this from? Who remembers? اكتبوا هذين أو هاتين كلمتين يا إخوان. Write these 2 words down إن شاء الله تعالى. فيوجد شيء يسمى التتبع. The first word is called التتبع. التتبع. You brothers that can write Arabic, you sisters that can write the Arabic, you're going to write alif, lam, ta. التتبع. alif, lam, ta. Ta, ba, ain. alif, lam, ta, ta, ba, ain. Pitch your vowels. There's nothing on the alif, nothing on the lam. The ta has a shadda and a fatha. At-tatab. The second ta has a fatha. Bu'. The ba has a dhamma. And the ain has a dhamma. At-tatabbu'. At-tatabbu'. In the transliteration, you're going to write A-T dash T A tatab T A again B U A. At-tatabbu'. That A is ain at the end. At-tatabbu'. The second word is al-istiqra. Alif lam. Alif lam. Alif sin. Al-istiqa. Ta. قاف را ألف Hamza. Al A طيب. Transliteration, you're going to write A-L dash I-S T-A-Q T-I-Q al-istiqa R-A-A al-istiqra. So 2 words here, ikhwan. Al-istiqra A-L dash I-S al-istiqa T-I-Q R-A-A al-istiqra. And then after that A, put apostrophe A. That's a Hamza. Al-istiqra. So tatabbu' wal-istiqra. So tatabbu' wal-istiqra, ya ikhwan, what is it? It's when the scholars of al-Islam, when they study the Quran, and they dissect the Quran, and they investigate the Quran, and they follow up the Quran, and they see that every time Allah mentions Tawheed, every time Allah mentions Tawheed here, every time Allah mentions Tawheed here, that is only 3 different ways Allah mentions it. So it's not a verse that says Tawheed is of 3 types. There's no hadith that says Tawheed is of 3 types. But there's something from the Arabic language, from al-Islam, that's called at-tatabbu' wal-istiqra. So when someone says, no, that's innovation, how can you divide this and divide that? You say, no, there's something called in al-Islam at-tatabbu' wal-istiqra. At-tatabbu' wal-istiqra. The scholars studying and examinations, and when they follow and they dissect the Quran and Sunnah, and they come up with Tawheed is mentioned many different ways in the Quran, and they dissect and they study and examine this, and they say, however, it's only mentioned 1 of 3 ways. It's only mentioned 1 of 3 ways. Al-uluhiyya, wal-rububiyya, wal-asma'i wal-sifat. It's not another category. Al-hakimiyya can fall under rububiyya. So that's under rububiyya. It's only 3 different ways. Allah and the Messenger ﷺ, when you dissect the ahadith and you dissect those ayat from the Kitabillah, from the Book of Allah, tajidu bi anna aqsam tawheed thalaathaa. You're going to find that the categories of Tawheed are only 3. Every time Allah mentions Tawheed, it never goes outside of 1 of these 3 types. ومثال آخر, another example يا إخوان, في اللغة العربية أن الكلمة تنقسم إلى 3 أقسام. That in the Arabic language, how many words are there in the Arabic language? Not in English, in Arabic. How many different types of words?
Words? What's the letters?
Words. Not how many different words, how many different types.
Like the root words.
Not the root words only, but every time you come across a verse, you take Al-Fatiha. Every different type of word in Al-Fatiha, write it down.
Oh, okay.
Al-Baqarah. Every different type of word, write it down. You do that to the whole Quran. You do that to every hadith. You do that to the words of the Arabic language. You're going to find what? That there are only 3 types of words. Every word in the Arabic language is 1 of 3.
You gotta explain that to me again.
Not how many words, ya ikhwan. You're never going to end. That's different. Not how many ulama. That's like many of us nowadays argue who's the most knowledgeable scholar. What's the benefit in that, ya ikhwan? That's in America. You ever see how in America, in the West, they make you argue everything?
Competition.
They bring competition. Look at the sports channels. You look at anything. Sports channels especially. I used to like basketball. I still like basketball, ya ikhwan. They bring arguments that have nothing to do with nothing. And then you find yourself arguing, debating, and you be like, yeah, that's my opinion. That's your opinion. You're going to blows with the man. You're choking him down. No, Michael Jordan is the best, man. And then you realize, I'm sorry, yeah, that's my opinion. And that's your opinion also. Now we do the same thing in Islam. This scholar is more knowledgeable than this scholar. Maybe. This scholar's more memorized than that scholar. Maybe.
Perhaps.
Who really knows? Allah. هل إذا هو أعلى منه هل هذا ينفعني أو ينفعك? If he is more knowledgeable than him, he memorized 100,000 hadith. He memorized 200,000. Alhamdulillah. Is the hadith that he memorized more than him? Is that going to benefit you? The answer is no. Is that going to protect you from hell? The answer is no. And many of us as Muslims get caught up, especially in the West. Arguments you never hear overseas. You never hear in Yemen, two scholars arguing, I got more hadith than him. You never hear that. And it's one reason we love Yemen. And I'm pretty sure it's the same way in those countries I never saw. For example. But in Yemen, you ask any of the students of knowledge from the brothers and sisters that studied in Yemen. You wish. Everyone has their favorite teachers. That's fine. Their favorite students and scholars. That's fine also. You ask whoever you wish. اسألوا من تحبوا. You ask whoever you wish. هل في اليمن الطلاب يتقاتلون يقعون في الجدال من أعلى من أحفظ الجواب لا. You ask any student you wish in Yemen or who studied in Yemen or visited Yemen. Do you find the students that went to Yemen arguing who's the strongest, arguing who's the most memorized, You never find that. Or rather you find the students there helping each other. He's stronger than him in hadith, he's stronger than him in Arabic. So he helps him in Arabic, he helps him in hadith. Nowadays you never get it. The student who's teaching a class in America now, the next student who gives a class after him, he's not going to sit in his class. Why? He's going to wait outside, drinking tea, talking to the homeboys. They're going to call him in. Yo, such and such is done. It's your turn. And the one that's giving the class, he's not going to sit for the other brother's class. No, I'm done my class. He's done. Now it's his turn to go outside and drink tea. But where's the respect for the knowledge? Even if you are more knowledgeable than him. That's about knowledge, ya ikhwan. I remember in Yemen, the first time I saw this, we was in Sardinia. Second time we saw it was in Yemen. Where the big sheikh, Sheikh Abdul Muslim, was giving a class. Second, there was a younger sheikh, forget who it was at this moment. He was giving the class. You didn't even know that the big sheikh was in the audience. The young sheikh is giving a class. The big sheikh is taking notes. Allahu Akbar. One of the greatest memorizers of today. Taking notes in a class of one of his own students. It's not about the person here. It's not about personality. It's about Allah's messenger. If someone can benefit you, remind you, I'm going to sit there. I don't know about anyone else. Even if you know every hadith that he's mentioning, who doesn't need muraja'ah? Who doesn't need reminder? Who doesn't need review? Who doesn't need more benefits that maybe you didn't know? Or y'all can have a conversation, a discussion. Even if y'all differ, you still can bring benefit from this difference of opinion if you do it correctly. So now the sheikh get done. He comes down off the chair. Everybody's waiting for the sheikh to come. You see someone stand up who was in the lesson. Now he's the sheikh. Allahu Akbar. And that's how it's supposed to be. This one is giving a class. My beloved brother Mufti is giving a class. I'm going to sit in that class. Tar is giving a class. I'm going to sit in that class. You're not going to say, oh no, I have more knowledge. I'm more memorized. La. It's about Allah's messenger. It's about knowledge, ya ikhwan. Even if you are or you don't, you're not. Who cares, ya ikhwan? You've been more knowledgeable, him or her being more memorized, it's never going to benefit you. It's about knowledge, implementation of the knowledge, and calling to the knowledge, and being patient upon the knowledge. And this is something that you used to see in the West, where the students came together and studied together. And may Allah have mercy upon our beloved brother Nafis and our beloved brother Abu Isa. And I remember we were from the first ones, and then Tahir did it after that in Cherry Hill Masjid. And I remember we were from the first ones by Allah's mercy. Nafis, Isa, myself, a couple of other brothers were there. And we were coming together, learning from the ulama. And at this time we were studying the book of Kitab al-Tawheed by Sheikh Salih al-Sheikh. And we translate his audio, mashallah, there in Philadelphia. And then Tahir, alhamdulillah, hafidullah ta'ala, our Sheikh Tahir, he did the similar in Cherry Hill. We invited the different imams and students of knowledge. Anyone could come. but was mainly for the students and imams to study together. No one's the sheikh now. Today you're going to read, tomorrow you're going to read, the next day you're going to read. Allahu Akbar. Nowadays, no, it's not my time to give the class. My class is after Isha. So you sit outside while the class is going on? We still have respect for knowledge, nowadays. At any rate, so the brother comes and says, you people are upon innovation. Say, how? Tawheed has categories. Yes. Where'd you guys get these categories from? Now you have the answer. At-tatabbu' wal-istiqra'. There's no verse that says Tawheed is of 3 categories. That's correct. There's no hadith that says Tawheed is of 3 categories. هذا صحيح أيضا. That's also correct. فَمِنْ أَيْنَ الْعُلَمَاءُ أَتَاءَوْا بِهَذَا. So where did the scholars come? How did they come with this? At-tatabbu' wal-istiqra'. When they have studied and examined the Quran and Sunnah. Same thing in the Arabic language. العلماء من العربية يجدون أن الكلمات العربية تنقسم إلى 3 أقسام. That the Arabic words in the Arabic language regarding their types. How many types of words are there in Arabic? Only 3. You read the whole Quran, you read the whole Bukhari, and all you're trying to find out is the different types of words. We're going to come across 3 different types of words only. From Al-Fatiha to An-Nas. 3 types of words only.
What's the 3 types?
What are the ikhwan? Al-Ula, write this down. First type of words. Now we're in Arabic. First we was in fiqh, then we did some aqidah, and now we're doing some Arabic. طيب. The first type of word, ya ikhwan, is al-ismu. 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 First type of word is al-alif lam alif sin mim. Alif lam alif sin mim. A-L dash I-S-M. Al-ismu. A noun. First type of word is a noun. Al-ismu. A-L dash I-S-M. You brothers online, al-ismu. A noun. Wa-thaniyatu. Second type of word. Al-fi'lu. Al-fi'lu. Alif lam fa ain lam. Alif lam fa ain lam. Transliteration: A-L dash F-I apostrophe L. A-L dash F-I apostrophe L. Al-fi'lu. Al-fi'lu. Al-fi'lu is a verb. So in 3 types of words, ikhwan. وَالثَّالِثَةُ, and the third type of word is al-harfu. Al-harfu. Alif lam ha ra fa. Alif lam ha ra fa. Transliteration: A-L dash H-A-R-F. Al-harfu. Al-ismu, al-fi'lu, wal-harf. A noun, a verb, a particle, or you could say preposition. A noun, a verb, a particle, or preposition. كل كلمات العربية تنقسم إلى 3. You name the word. You name the word. Every word in the Arabic language is divided into 3 types of words. Al-ism, a noun, al-fi'lu, the verb, wal-harfu, and the particle. هذا هو الأصل. That's the origin, ya ikhwan. So when you chop it down, chop it down, chop it down, it becomes smaller and smaller. No matter what type of word, either going to be a noun, it's going to be a verb, or it's going to be a particle. You guys got that, ya ikhwan? A lot of benefit. Alhamdulillah. You write down your notes. Don't be those people who write down notes, ya ikhwan, and don't go over them. You always have to take time to make a review. No matter how strong you are, everyone forgets. You always have to take particle. You always have to take time to go over what you learned. Some days you're not going to learn no new hadith today. Some days. You try to learn something every day. Try your best. Even if it's one word. We learned 2 different points of Arabic. We learned 45 words in a half hour. Alhamdulillah. Maybe that's our lesson. 5 benefits. Allahu Akbar. Sheikh Mubu used to do 1 benefit sometimes in his tafsir class. 1 verse. In Bukhari, 1 hadith. MashaAllah. It's easy to memorize. Take your notes. Go home and learn it. Teach your wife, teach your children, teach your husband. Now you're ready for tomorrow. That's tremendous. Tayyib. You always have to take time to make muraja'ah, to make a review. If you don't make muraja'ah, you're never going to be a diligent student of knowledge. Never. Even if you can memorize well. You have to make the muraja'ah to make what you have learned solid, to fasten it. Like handcuffs, for example. The muraja'ah locks your knowledge down. Muraja'ah, what do you mean? Review. Muraja'ah. You learned Al-Fatiha, now you got to go over it 100 times. You still don't got it yet. Then the next day, 50 more times. You almost got it. Next day, step 40 more times. Next day, 25. Next day, 10. Now it's almost in your long-term memory. That's why the scholars of Africa, even the ones that's a little mutakallim fi, they have some speech about them, are holding in Africa, Yemen, Africa, Mauritania, mainly Africa, India also. Their method of memorizing, you never seen nothing like it in your life. The way they memorize, they try to put everything they study into memory. They say that memory is of 2 types: short-term memory, long-term memory. So they say our goal is to transfer everything we study, Allahu Akbar, into not our short-term, not I recited the verse 50 times today between Asr and Maghrib, now I'm done. La, you don't have it. It's only in your short-term. You said it 100 times. You don't have it yet. You just think you have it because we don't know no better. So we think we have it. The proof we don't have it, don't say it for a whole 2 days. Now you lost it because it was only in your short term. So they say, no, la. We're going to make the knowledge from our short term to our long term. Only way you do that is repetition. A high number of repetition. And that's why the brothers, they get offended when they say, you got us writing the words 100 times. Yes. You could do that in 15 minutes, for example. That's still not enough. That's just a start. That's just today. Then the next day you got to write another 100. You got to make repetition or you're going to forget it. And that's how those scholars were. I'll give you one example how they used to study. One day, the brothers on Baqarah, the brothers on Bukhari, for example, they do it the same way with hadith, aqidah, fiqh, whatever they're learning. They apply the same method. You never see nothing like it in your life. Try it for 2 days. Either you're going to be amazing and you're going to keep doing it, or you're going to say, man, I can't do this. It's either going to make you firm or it's going to break you. But whatever they're learning, the hadith, you take one hadith, you say this one hadith 100 times today. 100 times. You come back the next day, another 100. That's 200. The next day, now you get lesser. 75. Day number 3. Day number 4, 50. Day number 5, 25. Day number 6, 10. Day number 7, 5. Day number 8, they start something new. So now you almost said it almost 300 times. Their goal was, they say you got to say it almost 500 times.
That's why I said it's way more than 300.
For it to be in your short term, your long term. And that's only for the first hadith. So now today you got the first hadith 100 times. Now tomorrow you got a new hadith too. So you got 100 for yesterday's hadith.
Put that in the rotation.
Now it's in the rotation again. Now you got new hadith, 100 for the new one. Wednesday, 75. Now you got a new hadith. So they do that for everything they're learning. So that's why for them, those children, when they say he's memorizing the dictionary, you don't have to ask him, is he done the Quran? They're not like us, where the person is going to memorize usool thalaathaa and has no Quran on his belt. We're backwards. They're going to memorize first and foremost, or a lot of the Quran first and foremost. That's why the average Arab, the average African, the average Indian is strong in the Quran. They start off with the origin. When many of us have barely read the Quran one time in 10 years. That's many of us. I remember Sheikh Yahya there in Yemen, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, he used to review, they said him and Sudais and Sardiya, and probably other scholars. These are two that come to my mind. And Sheikh Muhammad Imam also.
The reciter, Sudais?
Hey. Their review, mashallah, ya ikhwan. All three of these scholars, Sudais, from the main reciter of Sardiya, one of the greatest reciters you're ever going to hear, probably the most popular of the Islamic world, our Sheikh in Yemen, Sheikh Yahya, Sheikh Muhammad Imam. طيب. And there are other scholars also. These are just some that comes to my mind in this moment. I can name another, Sheikh Abdul Karim Al-Khudayr in Sardiya. طيب. Every 4 days, they're done the Quran. From reviewing it. Not reading it. From what they memorized. So every day, they're reviewing 8 to 10 juz of Quran. That's amazing. So every 4th or 5th day, they start the Quran again. In Yemen, when they had the Tarweeh, you may read the Quran 4 or 5 times in Ramadan. If you only come to the night prayer. Stuff you never see ever. You can't even believe that. The first night, the Sheikh, him and Imam Ahmed, Sheikh Ahmed, the Imam was there, and Sheikh Yahya was there. They would take turns reciting Quran. The first night, in the first raka'ah, they recite the whole Surah Al-Baqarah in one raka'ah. By the time you get done in Ramadan, you done read the Quran just in the night prayer. Not talking about what you read yourself. If you only come to the night prayer, you done read the Quran, or you heard the Quran 3 times in 1 month. And that's easy for them. They've been doing it 25, 30 years. When many of us, we can't sit down. We have to have sit-down classes for ourselves and for our children. The average brother can't sit. He'll be like, okay, today's class, we're not going to do no memorizing. We're going to sit down for 10 minutes. And you watch. Most of us can't do it. Our phones, we got to find something to do. That's most of us. They've been memorizing Quran for decades. Reviewing Quran for decades, for example. And this is the origin, ikhwan. Before you memorize any book, you should start off with the Quran. Doesn't mean you got to be a hafiz first. La. But you're going to focus on the Quran. You have 2 hours off, you're not going to spend only 15 minutes of Quran. La, la, la. Every other science helps you upon the Quran. Arabic, al-fiqh, mustalah, not really mustalah, Arabic, tafsir, nahu, sarf, fiqh also is going to help you in understanding the Quran. So everything that you need to understand the Quran becomes obligatory also. That's why Ibn Taymiyyah says learning Arabic is obligatory. Because to understand the Quran is obligatory. And you can't understand the Quran without the Arabic language, so therefore Arabic language becomes obligatory. At any rate, if you have an hour, okay, maybe I'll give a half hour to the Quran, 10 minutes to some hadith, make some muraja'ah, another 10 minutes to learn some fiqh principles. Alhamdulillah. You're going to give some focus. Your focus has to be on Quran, for example. And this is something that, even here at this masjid, we have to start soon, ya ikhwan. A Quran circle. And we can either start off as a group, or everyone is in their own little place. But the point is that we encourage one another to learn the book of Allah. We have a couple classes going on, alhamdulillah, but we yet have a Quran circle. And we can do it between Maghrib and Isha or after Isha. 1 day, 2 days or so, 1 day at least, we have to start some Quran. Inshallah ta'ala. May Allah ta'ala allow that to be reality. We can start from Al-Fatiha. We can do it as a group. Or everyone can learn what they're learning. Do brothers on different surahs. Use the Quran, you do it different ways. If everyone's on the same level, you can learn as a group. That's fine. If everyone's on different stages, then this person will recite for a couple minutes. You help him. You got it? Okay. He's going to go to the back and recite by himself for a half hour. Next brother's going to come. You're going to help him. You got it? You know how to say it? Okay, now go rehearse it. And you yourself, you're going to rehearse, alhamdulillah. Then you come back in a half hour and you hear what everybody has. Or you can learn as a group. First we're going to learn this surah. We all got this surah. We go to the next surah. Then we take some time to make maraja'ah of that surah. You always got to make review, ya ikhwan. Don't just learn and learn and learn and learn and learn and learn that. Don't take notes and take notes. And as soon as you get home, you take your notebook and put it on the shelf, and you never return back to it. You're not going to benefit like that. The notes are for you. They're not for the teacher. Like homework. Homework is for you. Homework helps the knowledge stick with you. So you take your notes. Take some time and go over your notes. Go open your notes, what you wrote, and check your notes. Memorize your notes. Review your notes. If it's some mistakes, correct your notes. For example, memorize what you wrote. Continue. Next point, we learned this hadith. Benefits of this hadith were such and such and such and such. Alhamdulillah. Then we learned this ayat over here. We learned 5 benefits of the ayat. What were they? Alhamdulillah. The more you go over, the stronger you become. They used to say Sheikh Muqbil, rahimahullah, didn't memorize the whole Quran. Some scholars say no, he memorized the Quran. His own daughter, our Shaykha, Abdullah al-Wadi'iyya, she said, my father never memorized the whole Quran. Meaning, she said that he couldn't recite the whole Quran verbatim like that. She said, but he reviewed it so much, he can tell you where the ayats were. You say the ayat, he can tell you where it's at. Because that's how much he reviewed it and reviewed it. And you listen to his audio, read his books, and that's how fast he can pull those ayat. Because that's how familiar he is with the Quran. Many of us can't recall the ayat unless you're reading the surah. The Shaykh wasn't like that. He used to review the Quran often. And he can tell you, oh, that's in Surah Al Imran. Oh, that's in Surah Taha. Oh, that's in Surah Al-Ma'idah. Because he was that familiar with the Quran. You want to make the Quran your companion. And we'll stop here, ya ikhwan. There was a Shaykh in Al-Yemen, and he used to say, وَسُئِلَ كَيْفَ كَانَ صَحَابَةُ مَعَ الْقُرْآنِ. And the questioner said to the Shaykh, how were the companions with the Quran? Or the Salaf. How were the Salaf? I think how the Salaf. How were the Salaf with the Quran? فقال الشيخ أعطيكم مثالا أنتم تستطيعون أن تفهموه. He said, I'm going to give you an example that you brothers can understand. I'm going to break it down in your way. So he said, هم كانوا مع القرآن كما أنتم مع هاتفكم. He said, the Salaf were like the book of Allah. They were with the book of Allah the way you brothers of today are with your phones. Nowadays, the Muslim is always going to have his phone on him. When he prays, his phone is somewhere near him. I guarantee you. 8 out of 10 Muslims nowadays, he's not going to go anywhere. From room to room, masjid to masjid, home to work, family to family, or you name the place. Wherever he's going to visit, his phone is going to be somewhere near him, or somewhere on him, or in his hand. Most of the time in the prayer. One brother, may Allah forbid, answered his phone in the prayer. The phones is something that many of us are preoccupied with. For example, it's as if it's our life. That's how they were with the Quran. That's an example that all of us can understand. For example, he said that's how the Salaf were with the Quran. The same way every 4 minutes we're checking. Oh, my phone ain't ring. Does it still work? Let me make sure my volume is still good. 2 more minutes pass. Ain't nobody calling me. That's how they were with the Quran. Reviewing the Quran, teaching the Quran, memorizing the Quran, reading the Quran. The same way we are with our telephones. Lord. Just imagine if we were like that with the Quran. All of us would be true Muslims, imams, scholars, students of knowledge. Allahu Akbar. May Allah help us, ikhwan. Inshallah, so we'll stop there, ikhwan. Today we did a short reminder, some benefits, alhamdulillah. Uktubu al-jadida, write down the new benefit, alhamdulillah. Wa nawasilu ma'akum gadan, and we'll continue, inshallah ta'ala, tomorrow. I believe someone asked something, ikhwan. Our beloved brother Abu Kasha says, Ismun wa fi'lun wa harf a noun, a verb, and a particle, and that's correct. The three types of words, ya ikhwan. فَنَصَبْتُ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ وَنَخْتَطُ مِنْ نَفْسِ. Anything that I said that's correct is from Allah. Anything that I said that's incorrect is from myself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.